the cold and flu season upon us, and new information about the stalled production of the H1N1 vaccines, everyone is concerned with staying healthy. We are reminded almost daily about washing our hands to prevent the spread of germs and bacteria. But what about something that you put in your mouth at least a couple of times a day if you're being good? Could your toothbrush be making you sick? Here are some tips, simple ones, on how to keep your toothbrush germ-free. Chief Dental Officer for Delta Dental of Massachusetts, Dr. Doyle Williams. And Dr. Doyle Williams, we appreciate you coming in this morning. It's been nice chatting with you here. First question for you. How big of a source is your toothbrush for these germs and bacteria in reality?
You know, it's a great question. There are more bacteria in our mouth than there are humans on the face of the earth, including all the germs that cause the flu and the colds. So every time we brush our teeth, we're just covering our toothbrush with all of those germs.
What about the Dr. Oz story we've had? We had him on the show and talked about it, that a lot of people will find in their toothbrush there's some fecal matter because when the toilet's flushed in the bathroom, the toothbrush is out there and that fecal matter gets on the toothbrush. He's saying close your lid to prevent that from happening, but are you familiar with that too?
I am, and so Dr. Oz really brought this to light. But we've got a lot of airborne bacteria in a bathroom because it's a warm, moist environment where bacteria likes to grow. So if we've got bacteria on a toothbrush and we store it next to another toothbrush, then easily airborne bacteria will spread from one brush to another.
Now, you've got some tips here that folks can do to avoid any germs and keeping themselves healthy when it comes to their toothbrush. The first one is replace it often. How often are you talking about?
Well, we typically go to the dentist every 6 months and replace their toothbrush then. But they wear out about every 3 months. So let's start with 3 months at the basic, and if you're sick, replace it immediately.
And you also say sterilize your toothbrush, and you should do this how many times a week?
So we say at least 2 or 3 times, but sterilizing your toothbrush is so simple. You can take a wet plastic toothbrush, throw it in the microwave for 1 minute, and it's sterile.
As is?
As is.
Okay.
If you've got a power toothbrush with a little metal ring that clips onto your power handle, then you submerge that in water and boil it for 3 minutes, or just put them in the dishwasher. Is a great
my
way.
wife does that, and I'm always like, what are you doing? But I guess the dishwasher isn't a bad way to go.
It's almost perfect.
Beautiful. Yes. Okay. You also say store your toothbrush away from other toothbrushes in the house. Even if they're friends, the little toothbrush is hanging out. They can't be together.
Exactly right. So because it's airborne bacteria that's spreading, if you put those brushes next to each other, you're going to spread the germs or recontaminate.
They also have some of those containers we've seen that you can put the toothbrush in. Would that help you if you do that after you brush and rinse your brush off to put it in one of those?
So that's a question a lot of people ask. And that, once again, keeps it in a warm, moist environment where germs can grow. So wait till your toothbrush completely dries before you put that cover on it.
All right, let's talk about washing your hands before and after brushing.
So we know that the most common way of spreading these germs is we touch our nose and then we touch our mouth to spread the bacteria. So our hands are contaminated a great deal of the time. So wash them well before we're going to start messing in our mouth, brushing or flossing.
Can you send a message to the kids out there that if you can't find your toothbrush, probably not a good idea to use your brothers or sisters?
Please don't use your brothers or sisters.
Thank you so much for that, because they don't listen to mom and dad. They just, hey, I'm going to brush them, I'll grab whatever's there. What about in terms of flossing? I would imagine that the washing of the hands also is very important when it comes to that.
Anytime we're going to put our hands inside our mouth. And another one that we don't even think of is with the tube of toothpaste. So commonly when you spread your toothpaste, you touch the bristles, so you've contaminated the whole tube of toothpaste. So let's be careful with that also. If a family member's sick, a little travel-sized tube of toothpaste would be excellent for them to use. And
disposing of the old toothbrushes and the dental floss too, because a lot of times people leave that laying around. Best to get rid of that as quickly as possible.
Get that into the trash can and wash your hands, all of it loaded with bacteria.
And you find that most people can adapt to this stuff. I mean, people were kind of lazy, but getting that toothbrush every so often, you can go out and buy them in bulk, I suppose.
You can. They're easy, and you should have a completely dry toothbrush to stop the spread of germs. So everybody should have at least 2 toothbrushes if you're brushing twice a day. So there's a 24-hour period for it to dry. So get that extra toothbrush. Be healthy. And put the cap on the toothpaste. You've made women everywhere very happy for those husbands that are a little bit sloppy when it comes to that, I guess. Dr. Williams, we appreciate your advice this morning. Very nice chatting with you, and we appreciate you coming in. Gino, thank you very much. All right.